Well, the ANC has cleared Johannesburg Mayor Geoff Makhubo of any wrongdoing. It was alleged that his company, Molelwane Consulting, received millions from a company implicated in state capture. Makhubo took over from Herman Mashaba, who was mayor at the time, or who resigned, I should say, as mayor. Now, the former mayor and founder of the People's Dialogue, Herman Mashaba, joins us now from his home in Johannesburg. Mr. Mashaba, thank you very much for your time. I just want to read you one line from the ANC statement that cleared Mr. Makhubo, and this is a statement, I guess, quoting the party after the Integrity Committee cleared the mayor. It says, and I quote, "This demonstrates the ANC's commitment in decisively taking urgent steps to safeguard the core values of the ANC, protect its image and enhance its standing in society." Do you agree with the contents of that?
Koli, and good morning to the listeners. This is a total disgrace. It's an insult to the intelligence of South Africans. I'm sure South Africans will remember very well when I was a mayor on the 10th of December 2018. I personally went to Gwen Lake, serious criminal charges against Geoff Makhubo. The matter referred personally by me to the NPA. I even actually sent the report to President Cyril Ramaphosa. I wrote to Ace Magashule in June last year asking for his intervention. So I cannot really understand the so-called Integrity Committee can really come out to create someone with such case that is as clear as daylight. I think they must just really call themselves a dishonest committee, because it can't be a disintegrity, because honestly they're insulting us as South Africans to talk about integrity when you are openly being so dishonest.
So, Mr. Mashaba, in your understanding, Geoff Makhubo still has a case to answer. But where is law enforcement, or where is the process? You went to lay the charge. Is anyone investigating?
Well, Toli, as you are aware, when I was the mayor, we uncovered almost 35 billion rands worth of criminal cases of corruption, fraud and corruption by mainly ANC people, cases of over 6,000. And I'm sure South Africans are aware how I have personally requested the works of the NPA to really deal with this matter. That is why I even sought the intervention of the president of the country to say we've got serious criminal charges against the senior members of your organization. I mean, with Geoff Makhubo, with this Molelwane 30 million rands, I mean, the evidence is there. What more do the NPA requires? Look at in South Africa, to give an example of this piece of land where the Gautrain station is. This piece of land, the most expensive piece of real estate in Africa, donated to the Guptas, including giving them not to pay for services. And I think Geoff and Pakistan have got a lot to answer to. But fortunately enough, I can assure South Africans, for as long as I'm alive and other South Africans working with me are alive, this matter will go for public prosecution. I'm just obviously in the process of putting together our political parties and party. And one of the units that we are setting up is for private prosecution of these cases where ANC has abused us as South Africans for a long time. That I'm not really prepared to sit back and allow this kind of abuse, because what this so-called Integrity Commission committee is coming out with, it's honestly an insult and abuse of us as South Africans.
The Johannesburg citizens or residents, Mr. Mashaba, are going to say to you, we don't understand why we need to wait for your party to be formed in order for you to go and institute a private investigation or private prosecution of Geoff Makhubo. You have the AfriForum that's been doing that for the longest time. So while you ponder that question, let me ask you about those that are going to say there are cases in Johannesburg during your tenure where you had some tenders that were dodgy, that also call for an investigation. How do you respond to those claims?
Please ask them, any case of corruption in our country, whether it's for 1 cent or it's for 30 million or it's for 30 billion, all those cases must be investigated. We have law enforcement agencies. I request them as a matter of agency to take them up, so that we don't delay, come out with accusation of people, but cases don't ultimately come before the court. I'm really willing. I'm inviting in this platform to ask the Hawks, ask the NPA to please investigate those cases. Let us not really come out when we have official constitutional bodies that must deal with cases of corruption, fraud and corruption. Let's already deal with those cases. And obviously, if there's any law that I've infringed upon, please let there be consequences. And at the moment, as you are aware, Koli, I don't have the powers. Even when I was the mayor of the city of Johannesburg, the city can only investigate. We did not have the prosecutorial responsibility. The prosecutorial responsibility right now lies with the NPA.
But let me interrupt you there, Mr. Mashaba. Let me interrupt you there, and very quickly, please. I am out of time. As a private citizen, you have the right to approach the NPA and ask for a non-prosecuting certificate, if you like. That's the process as we understand it. And then you take that to a private prosecution arm or body, and they will do that. Why don't you do that?
Well, that is where we're going. It is not as simple as that. That's why you need to put together some of the best legal brains in the country to really go through those cases. It's not just the question of you approaching. You remember, even when I was the mayor, we were ignored. I can show you evidence of the many letters that I wrote to the NPA and the Hawks, and never had any response whatsoever. So that is why I'm saying the only way you can deal with it, you've got to get and put together and assemble some of the best lawyers to deal with this matter.
Herman Mashaba, thank you very much for your time. We'll have to get the NPA, of course, to respond to allegations that they have ignored your pleas for prosecuting this case.